Hello, everyone. This is MMA Interesting Prospects podcast. Today, our guest is Darien Orvin, who will fight on Steel Fist Fight Night, December 20th. Hello, Darien. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good, and just we are just few days away from your fight. So, if you can tell me for now, how do you feel about this fight, and what do you think about your next opponent?
I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling a lot more comfortable. There was a little bit that I think it was around the time right before I accepted the fight that I was feeling pretty unmotivated and just uninterested in the sport. Life just kind of got in the way of things, and then just kind of changed up my training routine and changed up my gym and stuff that I was training at, and just I've been feeling a little bit more comfortable and starting to enjoy it a bit more. So. I'm happy with the position that I'm in. I'm feeling good with this matchup. Uh, my opponent, Beck Shields, he's been a friend of mine. We were gonna fight back when we were amateurs. He was the 145 champion. I was the 145 contender, but he ended up going pro. And so then I didn't end up getting to fight him. But now we're both pro, and so now I get the opportunity to compete up against him. He's a pretty good grappler. He's got some fun striking, so it's gonna be an exciting fight.
And also, he's got like some good amateur experience, as do you, because in the end you've got over 10 fights. You are kind of experienced actually. It's not just you are one fight veteran, but you've got almost like 15 bouts. So overall, I think that it will be an interesting fight. But for this training camp, were you like focus on any specific area for this fight?
Um, Not really. I've spent my entire amateur career really focusing on the strengths of my opponents, which I very consistently over and over and over fight grapplers. Um, and so all of my fights would just kind of turn into them just shooting takedowns on me over and over and over, me stopping the takedowns, and then eventually once they get tired, then I'll turn around and finish them with strikes or something like that. I feel like that routine is kind of what burnt me out of really enjoying the sport. And so I just decided to take a different approach here. I was like, I'm just going to do striking training the whole entire time. I've kind of proven to at least myself and maybe to a lot of my opponents that I can grapple, I can counter wrestle. And so I'm not really too worried about his grappling, his wrestling. Um, and I wanted to be able to enjoy camp and not just hate every minute of it. So I really just focused on striking for this camp because that's just what I like to do because I enjoy the sport.
And about this motivation or like a problem with motivation, let's say, did you have this kind of situation before, like before, like earlier in your amateur days?
Um, I would say, yeah, since my fight at the beginning of the year against David Than back in March, after that one, David Than was a super good wrestler, super dominant in all of his fights. Um, and I knew it was going to be a grinding fight where we're just kind of wrestling for position the whole entire time. And so that was what I did the whole entire camp. And then after that, I was like, okay, look, I proved I can wrestle. I don't want to do this anymore. And so I started weaning off of it more and more to the point that like I just hardly did any grappling at all for this camp. Hopefully it doesn't come back to bite me, but at least I had fun.
And do you have like a plan for next year? So you have this kind of like number of fights in your mind that you would like to have?
Um, for my past three fights, I think I have said that I'm going to take a break after this next fight, but then I get offered something in like a few months. So on average, I think I fight like 4.5 times a year, so 5 times a year sometimes. I would still, I don't know, depends on the day. Some days I want to stay consistent with that, with fighting 4 times a year. I would like to fight 5 times a year. But my life, I've had just like a lot of stuff happen in my life recently, which kind of turned a lot of this on its head. And so now it's just kind of figuring out what's next for me in life and what's next for me in combat sports. Um, so I'll play it safe by saying I'm going to try and fight about three times this next year.
And after your fights, especially after the win, what do you like to do? Do you like to celebrate with your team, or you just want to rest like few hours after the fight?
Um, Kind of really just depends on how tough and grueling the fight is. If I can walk and have fun, then I'll usually go out to the club with my friends or anything like that. But most of the time, I just end up going home and doing nothing. I'm not much of a partier. I don't smoke or drink or anything like that. I just like going out to social settings. I don't really have a big team. I've never really had a super big team of people who come out and support me. I have a big support system, but as far as like an actual training team, it's always been really small, I guess, just because of how many different gyms I go and train at. I've never developed a big group of people to want to go out with me specifically after my fights, so that's never something that I've really done.
And for this camp, with like which team did you prepare for this fight?
So I coach at Factum MMA and CrossFit. They've got a phenomenal boxing program. Their boxing coach has basically been my coach from the very beginning. I'm the MMA coach there. I do a little bit of jujitsu there, and then I go down to Jeremy Horn's Elite Performance, which is pretty close to Factum. So training down at Jeremy Horn's and training at Factum. I went up to this gym a couple hours away from my house up in Pocatello, Idaho. That's called Colossal Fight Company. They've got, they're probably one of the best grappling gyms around. So I went up there and got beat up by them for a little bit. So just those three gyms have kind of been my focus for this camp.
So you are like gathering the best like knowledge and the best sparring partners from all of like area.
Yeah, yep. I go to different gyms all the time. I think I've been to just about every gym in Northern Salt Lake at least three times. And so I kind of know like if I need grapplers, I'm gonna go out to like Tooele MMA or I'm gonna go up to Colossal. If I need good, well-rounded guys, I'm gonna go down to Agima or go to the Pit. And if I need boxers, I'm gonna go to Factum or so I know where I need to go to be able to work on the skills that I need to develop.
And like in the week of the fight, so even right now, do you feel some stress with, of course, with the like this idea that you will share the cage with also really good fighter, or is it like okay with you and you don't really feel like any stress of the or the pressure?
Yeah, I always feel a lot of stress. Um, Self-confidence has always been something that I've kind of lacked in a lot of my fights. Um, Not thinking that like I'm gonna go in there and lose, but just I'm realistic about the situation. I know that he has paths to victory. I know that I have paths to victory, and I know it's gonna be a fight. So yeah, like losing sucks, and I'm gonna really try my hardest not to lose. Um, but there's times that yeah, I'll get waves of being like, ah, crap, like that's this Saturday. I'm really dreading it, really not looking forward to it. But then there's times where I'm like, oh geez, like I'm super excited, can't wait for it. So it really just comes and goes all the time. This fight, so I guess I'll go back to like my last fight. For my professional debut, I picked to fight the like scariest man. They call him like the most violent, Utah's most violent fighter or something like that. So I was like, I'm gonna fight that guy for my pro debut because like if he knocks me out in the first round, it's not gonna get any worse than that. And then he kind of knocked me out in the first round. So I'm like, all right, cool. Got that over with. Nothing's really gonna be worse than that. So I kind of feel like that kind of helped my mentality a little bit. I'm not as stressed out as I usually get.
And do you use maybe some breathing technique or visualization technique to deal with some of the stress?
Not really. It's just a lot of like mental fortitude, I guess. I don't really have to like breathe to slow myself down. I just think about the fight logically because that's usually when I can break it down in my head into logically, if they did this, I would do this. If I did this and they reacted A, I kind of just break it down into different pathways in my head and deduct what the most logical conclusions could possibly be. And then that kind of just makes me feel better. And it's kind of goofy. Like I'll just remind myself the outcome, no matter what it is, whether I lose or whether I win, the outcome is inevitable. And so stressing about it isn't really going to change anything. So I just got to mentally just do some mental reps from time to time.
And like watching your fights, it's obvious that you are a very good striker. And did you think about like taking like boxing or Muay Thai bouts? I believe that you had at least on Topology Muay Thai fight. So would you like to take more of this kind of fights?
Yeah, so I did a couple boxing fights as an amateur. But every time I would get matched up against somebody, they were like some state champion boxer, and so I didn't do very good as an amateur in boxing, but I only did like three or four. And then as for Muay Thai, I was offered to go to Thailand with my coach. He goes to Thailand, and like a lot of people be like, "Oh, I want to go to Thailand to train Muay Thai." There's like tourist Muay Thai in Thailand, and then there's like actual Muay Thai in Thailand. He'll go and do like actual Muay Thai. His first fight was against a national champion from a different country. I can't remember which one, but he offered me to go out there with him. Just because of like I have my own business and stuff like that. It was gonna be pretty hard for me to make it out, so I chose not to. But I think that would be an opportunity I'd like to take up in the future is going to Thailand and competing in Muay Thai fight like that. Um, and then as far as boxing, yeah, I guess I'll do a couple boxing matches here and there. My coach, he's super involved in boxing, and he says that there's a lot of guys in Utah that I could beat. So striking's kind of always been. I started as a boxer primarily, and then just kind of had to develop a ground game around it.
Okay, Darien, so many thanks for the time and for conversation. I hope that you will win your next fight, and of course, in next year you can be also active with your fights, and you will win some more.
Awesome, I appreciate that. Thank you.